Welcome back. We have our guests of the week in the studio with us this morning, and he's a young, dynamic diplomat with vast experience in governance. Before his appointment to Nigeria in 2011, he had served his country for a number of years as Minister of Sports and Culture, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, and he was export manager for a brewing firm. He now represents Nigeria's, not Nigeria's, he represents Rwanda's interest in Nigeria and in 6 other countries, that is Algeria, Benin, Ghana, Liberia, Sao Tome and Principe, as well as the ECOWAS. I'd like to welcome the High Commissioner of Rwanda in Nigeria, Mr. Joseph Habineza. Good morning.
Morning.
And thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Yes, when one thinks about Rwanda, because when I told some friends I was going to Rwanda, they asked me if I was crazy. Isn't it that country where there's been all that war?
Yeah.
So you've come out of the war.
Exactly.
And I had the opportunity of seeing for myself what Rwanda has done for itself since the war. How were you able to achieve after that terrible war that went on for a long time?
Thank you very much, first, for inviting me on this program. And as you said, we were together in Kigali 1 week ago. And I'm sure you are now doing my job. You're an ambassador of Rwanda. And me, I'm an ambassador of Nigeria, as you were about to say. You know, to come out from, I think, even from under, because it was not on the ground, it was under. It was not easy. But it requires good leadership. Leadership which is committed, leadership who wants something to change, who have vision, and also not only leadership, fellowship. Because we sit down and say, look, as Rwandans, we can't go worse. We have no choice. We have to raise and change. And with the commitment of the leadership, with the commitment of everybody, with our resilience, we said we have to show another face of our country. We put behind us the past. We focus on the future. We set up a vision, Vision 2020. And we looked at things that we can do ourselves without counting on any other person. Because, you know, during the war, during the genocide, we were left just on ourselves, by ourselves. You didn't have you visit the memorial of genocide. There are plenty like that in Rwanda. There is a place, not just in Kigali, where the UN peacekeepers left people in hands of militias. They should have taken them in their trucks and dropped them somewhere where they're safe, but they refused. People jumping in the car, they were shooting. Can you imagine that? So now, when we saw that, we say, can we count on people? Let's do things first ourselves, and later, people who want to help can. All the peacekeepers in '94 left except Nigerians and Ghanaians. That's why we believe in African solidarity. That's why we believe in Pan-Africanism. So with that, first of all, we set up justice, because there's no reconciliation without justice. If we have counted on the international justice, look at Arusha, the ICTR. Within, I don't know, now it's almost 19, 18 years, with a budget of billions of dollars, they didn't try even more than 20-something cases. So how will you give justice to people? Because to kill 1 million people, because in the genocide, 1 million people died in 3 months, which means every day there were 10,000 people killed. And how do we give justice to those people who survived? Because to kill 1 million people, you need also almost 1 million killers.
You spoke about a visionary leadership
Yes.
How were you able to convince the people to follow the vision of the leaders? Because in some countries, you get a good leader and the people kill him. We
Yeah.
don't want this kind of leader. We want to continue in our bad ways.
I think that Rwandans learn the hard way. Because after what you have seen, you could not
But want
exactly.
good.
And not only that also, in our culture, Rwandans are people who respect rules. People who are really disciplined. Actually, it is so bad that even during the genocide, it's bad leadership who carried all these people in the killings.
Yeah, but let's go back to this genocide,
Yes.
Commissioner. I learned that there are only 3 tribes in Rwanda, and you all speak the same
Not
language.
Exactly. It's not really even it's not really a tribes, because as you are saying, tribe must be different language, must be different land, must be different culture. And in Rwanda, no, it's not the same. It's not
So
the
you
case.
all speak the same language,
Same
and
language.
yet you found reason to fight
Exactly.
against each other?
You know, divide and rule. Because in a long time ago, when Rwanda was still a country, because it was a country, a nation, state nation, because people were speaking same language, same culture, believing one God. Not even like others who believe suns and rivers and
So
stuff.
what
No,
was
we
used to divide the nation to the extent that we had a genocide?
the economical, social status then. When the Belgians and the Germans, because they were colonized first by Germans, and when they lost the First World War, were put under protection by UN to Belgium. So you know, then in their country they have 3 tribes. When they came to Rwanda, they saw 3 categories of people. The people who because in our culture, cow, cattle, is the sign of wealth.
Wealth, okay.
So those who have more than 10 cows were called Tutsis. Less were called Hutus. It was like that before. And you should change. You could migrate. Come from Tutsi being Hutu or Hutu being Tutsi. It's like normal life. Today I can be wealthy and doing business, and I'm a Tutsi then. And tomorrow I lose all my things
And you
and
become a
I become a
Hutu.
Hutu. That is
Oh my
it.
God, it's the
So,
measure of
but
your
now,
wealth.
those Belgians, those colonialists, when they arrived, they make it static. So it means that if you are a Hutu today, if you are poor, so it means that the whole generation which come from you will remain Hutus. And that's where and now it could be okay, but they use that to oppress and give favor to others. They're using Tutsis.
But the Hutus and the Tutsis,
Yes.
do they have a specific location that
No.
they identified?
Ask
They're
her.
all
She was
over
in
the
Rwanda. Rwanda
country.
is a small country. Everywhere, they live same place. Even not even the region. So it was literally, and something is bad when you can tell somebody you are a mumu. You tell him every day that he's mumu.
He will believe
At
it.
the end,
Start
he
He will
believes
believe
mumu.
in it.
And that's what happened. So it came from that time. And actually, another thing bad that they did is to put it in an ID card.
Oh, there was an ID card that
exactly
was created
showing that you are
you're
Hutu or
Hutu.
you are Tutsi or you are a Twa. And during the genocide, because physically you can see the difference. Or sometimes you say, okay, he's tall. If somebody has been very well, has been very good fed and everything, he'll be tall, he'll be good looking. If you have been hard working, eating bad, you will be just short. You'll be, you understand?
Okay, yeah.
So now they were looking at some people who are long noses, people who are tall. Okay, you are a Tutsi. But before they kill you, to make sure that they kill a Tutsi, bring your
Where's
ID
the
card.
ID card?
When you show ID card, they kill you. So that's the problem.
Okay, let's leave the genocide.
That-
for a
the
bit.
past is the
Yes,
past,
yes,
as
So
you say.
before
you've
you
gone
move on
past
from
it.
there, I wanted to ask a question because I
Yes.
know that in South Africa, I've been there quite a few times. When you look at a place like South Africa and you see how they came through the apartheid
Yes.
era, and you see the kind of leadership that took them there, and the Truth Commission and the cleansing of people's emotion and hearts and mind about it. What has Rwanda done over the last few years to ensure that this will never happen again, because
Exactly.
people have been healed?
Yes. First of all, as I said, it was justice. So we went back to our culture, to our roots. We have a traditional code called gachacha. Gachacha usually means grass. It means that people sit down the grass in community, at community themselves, without a lawyer, without prosecutor. And the guy who is suspected to have committed atrocities, and the victims, okay, those who survived, and the witnesses, everybody's sitting there, and they choose a jury, member of jury, elders, wise, put them there, and they hear the cases. And at the end, that's the whole community which will decide what to do. If they blame you, if you have to pay something, or if you have to forgive you. That's what we used, and it worked perfect. That's one side of reconciliation using justice. Also,